Hello, SYNGAP land. My name is Michael Graglia, and this is episode 173 of SYNGAP1, the SYNGAP1 podcast. Today is Friday, June 20th, 2025, the 25th week of the year. Tomorrow is Saturday, June 21st, 6/21, which is International SYNGAP1 Awareness Day. Woohoo! SYNGAP lives in the 6th chromosome, 6p21. There's a P arm and a Q arm. Don't worry about it. So we took 6 and 21, which is we're in the 21st something. I don't even know. But 6p21, 621, that's SYNGAP Day. So tomorrow is SYNGAP Day. Happy SYNGAP1 Awareness Day. If you're in the U.S., we sent you a trifold. It says, I love somebody with SYNGAP1. Take a picture, share it on social. Let us know about how you're spending the day. Raise some awareness for SYNGAP1. Really exciting. So much has gone down in the past month. Just writing these show notes was challenging. But I want to thank Virginie, who has not only just come back from bio with Heather Mestemaker from our board, where she represented SYNGAP and met with a number of corporate partners and flew the flag and saw a lot of important patient advocates, but also she was in D.C. doing some advocacy for access only 2 weeks ago. So Virginie, as our COO and president, is just killing it. And I'm so grateful for Virginie and for Catherine and all the work they're doing right now, because it allows me to focus on other things. And the work of SRF is growing, and we are 4 staff: Virginie, Catherine, myself, and Lauren, and we are all flat out, guys. It is nonstop over here. One of the things I did is I had the chance to go and be a keynote speaker at the Ambry annual commercial and marketing meeting. And that was great, because they gave me the stage and I got to talk about SRF and this incredible team and SYNGAP and all these people who are one of the bigger companies in America that does genetic testing. The SYNGAP is top of mind for these guys. I promise you that. So I'm grateful to Ambry, and I share a LinkedIn post there. Feel free to comment on that. Never hurts. I want to tell you one thing we rolled out, and I'm putting it at the top on purpose. Cure SYNGAP1 Connect. This is our official mailing list where if you want to be notified about clinical trials anywhere in the world, you go to Cure SYNGAP1 Connect on our website. And by the way, our website is multilingual. So if you just go down to the bottom corner and you don't like the language that our website is in, you can change that language. Magic of Google. If there's a language there that you want that we haven't turned on, we just have to turn it on. Let us know. We will add languages like that. So go to Cure SYNGAP1 Connect on our website. Click on that. Tell us the information about you, your family, your kid. And then we will notify you of clinical trials as they come up. Why are we thinking about this now? Well, hopefully you all went to the incredible webinars we've done in the past month in close cooperation with Camp 4. So in my last podcast, in episode 172, I talked a lot about Camp 4's presentation at ASGCT, and I literally walked you through their slides. I was so excited. Well, now they can walk you through their slides. So, and it's much better than a job than I did. So now you have you hear from myself and the Camp 4 team in a US podcast webinar we did. We did one in Australia with Danny Williams, who leads SRF Australia, and we did one in Europe with Katrine Deckers and Jaime, who lead SRF EU. So we had 3 different webinars, 2 of which are on our website, US and EU. And we urge you to go and watch those if you missed them. They're very important. And why are they important? Because as I said in the previous episode, we are about to have We could be having a clinical trial in a year. And there's a lot to get your head wrapped around. There's a lot to get your head wrapped around about ASOs, about the importance of intrathecal injections, about how clinical trials work, about hygiene. So please watch one of those webinars. Start thinking about Camp 4. If you have questions, ask us. We need to start thinking about it now. So when it's go time, we are ready to go. The other webinars we put up, and this has been creating a little bit of a stir lately. There's 2 webinars that we just did, I think, in the past 2 days. One about Amlexanox. Amlexanox is a repurposed read-through drug that only works on specific mutations. I list those mutations in the show notes. Generally a nonsense mutation. We are going to post that webinar. It's probably going to take us a few days to post that webinar, but I will list the mutations that we think are most likely to benefit. This is mutation specific. So don't get excited, but go to the show notes, read those mutations. If those mutations match your mutation, let us know, because this drug may be able to help your Syngapian's bad copy actually work. That's what a read-through drug does. If you have a nonsense mutation, so a specific mutation, and within nonsense, specific types of nonsense, But if you have a specific mutation, it could actually make that the body ignore that mutation and make the bad copy work. So super exciting. Amlexanox presentation from Dr. Bruce Bloom at Fortuity Pharma. Bruce is someone we've known and received guidance from for years. We're very grateful. So check that out. SRF is constantly bringing you guys as much information as we can. There are real opportunities out there, and this is what we're bringing you. This actually brings me to another point. So we got Amlexanox now, we have nortriptyline, we have NAL, and that's just what I can think of right now. A couple of people have asked me, okay, Mike, what are we fundraising for now? What's going on? Like, Camp 4 is coming, so what do we need to do? Guys, this is the end of the beginning. This is the end of the beginning. There's so much work to do, right? We have Camp 4, we have Praxis, we have Stoke, we have others. Everybody's working on SYNGAP, and we need to get clinical trial ready. What does that mean? That means we need clinical trial sites. What does that mean? That means CHOP. That means Stanford. That means Colorado. Those sites cost money. So we need to keep the clinical trial going, to create the data, to keep the momentum, and NAL, nortriptyline, and now Amlexanox. There are 3 drugs that we really think could help our kids right now. But in order to show that, we need to do a clinical trial of our own, an observational trial. There's a lot of hoops to think through. But different people are working on different versions of that right now. That's going to cost money too. So what are we, if the question comes up, because I've been asked this question twice in the past week, Mike, what are we fundraising for right now? My highest goal is to reduce the suffering in kids with SYNGAP, including my own, right? And I think, therefore, in this day and age, the 2 things we need to focus on are clinical trial readiness, anything that de-risks clinical trials for Camp 4 and others, and observational or other trials to show the efficacy of nortriptyline, NAL, and Lexonox, and whatever else we discover. Because we are busy spending your donations discovering other drugs that can help our kids. This is real life, guys. We're in it. And we're working on some high science. So the other webinar we put up, if you want to check this out, was very cool science about other genes that regulate SYNGAP. This is for the geeks. This is going to be in the deep end, but that webinar just happened. It will be on our website soon. Links in the show notes under cool science, which is Mike speak for I don't understand this well enough to talk about it. I also want to commend Virginie, who's just been killing it as president and COO, for launching a new family webinar. So now we always were we were all new families for a while there, but now there's like new families, and there's all kinds of different levels of engagement and understanding within the SYNGAP community. And these poor new families are showing up and they're like, what is going on? And so Virginie rightly said, we need to just do a set down for these guys. So we have scheduled, and we'll have webinars led by Virginie, because we've also decided that new families shouldn't meet me right away. It's like the webinar's fine, but like direct interaction, I scare people. So Virginie is going to be nice, and she's going to do a new family webinar on June 28th, and then another one we've already scheduled on September 9th, and that's where she'll just do SYNGAP 101, haploinsufficiency, what's going on, is it really going to get worse? Spoiler alert, yes. Is there help on the way? Yes. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. See why I shouldn't be doing this? So she's new family webinars, June 28th, September 9th. If you're like, I don't know how new, do I count as new? You count as new. If you have to ask that question, come to the webinar. In fact, I would urge you, even if you're sure you're not new, to come to the webinar and just cheer Virginie on and help her answer the questions. It help make sure these new families realize that it sucks their kid has SYNGAP, but it is a huge blessing that we have this community and that the community is here for each other. So, new family webinar, Virginie, wonderful, coming soon. Studies matter. Studies matter. All of this work happens because of studies, and I'm about to beat this point to death. There are 2 studies right now that are on my mind. ORTAS, the observer reported toileting ability study. Can this kid toilet themselves, right? This is something every SYNGAP family wishes their kid was potty trained, period, or better potty trained, or better able to clean themselves. I won't get into the details. This is an issue for damn near all of us. And so, but like anything, to get this to become like a measurable outcome, we have to quantify it. And no one has done a toileting study until now. Again, under the visionary leadership of Dr. Terry Jo Bichelle and the team at Combined Brain, there is an ORTAS study recruiting right now. And all you have to do is email the ORTAS people and say, hey, I want to sign up. Links in the show notes. And they send you a questionnaire, and you fill out the questionnaire. So simple. How are we doing? 27 people have signed up. Yes! 8 of those 27 have completed. 8. Now, that's about a third, if I'm generous. It's a little less than a third. I'd rather be at 100% of the signups completing, and I'd rather be at 270 than 27, guys. The more data we have, the better the signal around SYNGAP, right? What's happening right now is Combined Brain is doing an ORTAS for anyone who's in Combined Brain, and there's like 100 genes in Combined Brain. It's getting crazy. But if we can make sure that we have 50 to 100 people do this survey, then we can make sure there's a chart in this paper that they're going to write about SYNGAP, and that is baseline data so that we could then do the ORTAS and say a clinical trial and show that our kids were getting better as it related to toileting. So for those 8 people who've completed the ORTAS survey, good job. For those 27 who haven't, or 19 who haven't, guys, please finish it. And for the other hundreds of you around the world, because this is global, you can do this in the UK, you can do this in Australia, please go to the link, email Kellen, get the ORTAS survey, get invited. You got to check your spam. Some of this stuff goes to spam. We're working on it. This is an issue. And if you don't hear back from Kellen, it's probably in your spam. Let me know. I will bug them. We need to run this to ground. We need to make sure that we get a lot of SYNGAP data in this study. Please, please, please do it. The other study, we need 7 more for this, is the Beacon study. This is where you sign up with Beacon. They send you a headband. You put it on your loved one at night. They're going to hold your hand through this. They're going to talk you through it. There's an app. This data is precious. This is funded by industry. This stuff really matters. So ORTAS, it's a questionnaire for the parents. Please, I want to see 100 signups for this. Beacon, there's 7 opportunities left. Go watch the webinar, check it out. And I just want to read you an email from another study we did to beat my point home. And this was shared with me from Beata, who took part in the study. So this is an email from the study coordinator to the people who signed up in this study. And this was another study I encourage people to do. And Beata was so excited about this. She shared this on our Slack, which was great. This is a brief update on the communication abilities in children with genetic conditions study. These names are ridiculous. The communication abilities in children with genetic conditions study collected parent-reported data on communication ability from 113 families and direct speech and language data from 33 children. Data collection has now closed, and the research reports are in preparation for the 3 most successfully recruited conditions, which were KBG syndrome, SYNGAP1 related disorder, and differences in Med13L. So congratulations to KBG, it's a really unfortunate name, Med13L, and SYNGAP1. That's us. While the study was initially open to a wider group of single gene conditions, it was only possible to recruit full data sets and large enough samples to produce high-quality research reports for these 3 conditions. While not all the data collected from families will be included in the research publications, all of the data provided by families has been extremely valuable, blah, 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 blah. Punchline, when I beat the drum and say I want 50 and I want 100, it's not because I like big numbers. It's because this is the result. They invite everybody, they take all comers, but the people who actually deliver enough patients that they can figure out what's going on with those patients are the ones who get published. And when we get published, companies and other researchers feel more comfortable investing in our gene. So if you wish that more people were doing more, sooner, faster, better for SYNGAP1, go ahead and complete the ORTAS survey, 30 minutes, and then let us know if you want to do Beacon. Speaking of fierce advocacy, I wasn't, but I'm about to. I want to congratulate Jessica Johnson in Maryland. She got herself profiled in a USA Today video/article in partnership with Hopkins, where she is seen and with her kid. Incredible work, Jess Johnson. That's a great little piece. I share a LinkedIn post there. Check it out. Very, very, very cool work. And I'm just so excited when we start getting our parents and our stories out there. And congratulations, Jess Johnson. Great work. I also want to give a quick shout out to the incredible content that we keep producing. Stories, the interviews now being led by Rainey with Joe Ashline. Joe Ashline, if you haven't had the pleasure, is just articulate, a gifted writer, a great communicator, and a fierce mama for her son Andrew. Listen to Stories 34. It's really quality work. It's great. And then we've had 3 warrior profiles, Santiago, Axel, and Isaac. And I think we have another one coming tomorrow for SYNGAP Awareness Day. I read Axel's, and it was really excellent. I think the mom there just knocked it out of the park. They're all good, but this one was really thoughtful and well delivered, and I'm just kudos on that one. I loved it. And then Cafe Syngap Uno in Espanol with Dina in New York is up. This whole that podcast is so great, and the Hispanic community around the world is connecting on that one. And then, as always, thank you to Ed for Newsletter 45. Newsletter 45, by the way, I want to spend a minute on that. Profiles the Dunkin' Donuts fundraiser by Jansen's brother and his buddies. So what they did is they went to Dunkin' Donuts. Long story short, you set it up super easy. We have a blog about it. And then you get your friends to get donuts for pickup one day at your house and or just buy gift cards, and SRF gets half of that. And then when people are filling out the form and paying you for the $20 for the donuts or whatever, they have a chance to give us more, and many of them do. So these guys raised $10,000. Huge congratulations to that family. Great leadership. Also, as you know, in the newsletter, we talk about Sprint for SYNGAP. That was great. And the upcoming galas in Boston, Jersey, and then the golf event in South Carolina, and of course, the upcoming conference. So just amazing work. Amazing, amazing work. I love seeing the progress that we are making, and I love these great newsletters for capturing it all. And then, of course, I'm 50 now. I'm getting older. And I did a little fundraiser there. I want to thank everybody who supported that. I'm up to $10,000. Dash and I'll be matching that. It's not too late. I got ahead of myself. Okay, so that was press. Now let me go to fundraising. Fundraising. Not only did Sprint raise $250,000, but there's a blog, beautiful work, whoever did that, I'm guessing it was Ed, where 4 families talk about their experience. And I really want to reflect on this blog for a minute. So Team Aaron, Liz Werner, who raised $25,000, talked about their event. Eric Moulton talked about Phoebe's fight, $26,000 in DC. Aaron Starr talked about Team Daisy. They raised almost $13,000. And then Zoe Bailey talked about Team Kaya. And I'm just going to stop on this one for a second. They raised almost $7,000. And they were reflecting on, last year when we did this, it was it was emotional and it felt crazy and it felt overwhelming. And this year it felt so affirming to have our community around us, and we got more donations and we got more support, and we really felt loved, and more people know about Kaya, more people know about SYNGAP, and more people know about SRF. Let me know if I'm putting words in your mouth, Zoe, but that's kind of what I got out of what you said, which you can all read. Don't take my word for it. Read this amazing blog. And that's why I urge people to do fundraiser. Yes, we need the money. We have important work to do. And when you do a fundraiser in your town, in your backyard, in your community, those people have a chance to learn about SRF and SYNGAP. They have a chance to subscribe to this podcast, to give us money, to get on our distribution list, and to learn more about what's going on. Because I promise you, this disease does get harder. Our kids do get bigger. And the world just gets smaller over time. Right? Your circle of friends narrows. You don't have enough time or energy to make new friends, and it gets lonely out here. So if you don't invite people onto SYNGAP Island, it's going to become a lonely island. And I really urge everybody to be inspired by what we're doing here with Sprint, and to do a SYNGAP fundraiser in some way, shape, or form. And if you're like, I don't want to invite a bunch of people to run around the park, fine. Don't invite a bunch of people to run around the park. But check out what Heather Mestemaker, there she is again. Heather's on it. Justin Albrecht, Aaron Harding, and Alicia Harrison, who, by the way, isn't a family member. She's a genetic counselor at CHOP. They did MDBR, and together they raised $16,000. Great work, guys. And that was just riding a bike. That's your regular, hey, I'm raising money for a cause. Please give. Harper's family is raising money for Harper online for her birthday, and they're going to match the first $5,000. Go ahead and give them some money. Liam's family and Story's family also have fundraisers that are live. And I want to talk about Liam's one because this is really cute what they're doing. Liam's big sister is sort of hosting this fundraiser. She's called Loving on Liam. And his big sister, Emma, is saying, hey, my brother Liam's got this thing and I want you to help. And there's this beautiful video of Emma talking online. Guys, this stuff is gold. And it's helping Emma feel like she's involved in taking care of Liam. it's helping the family connect with their broader community, and it's bringing funds to SRF, which is helping us help Liam and all the other kids, right? I'm so excited to be sharing 1, 2, 3, 4 different fundraisers, stories, Liam's, Harper's, what the MDBR team did. I'd love to be sharing 30 or 40, honestly. Like, this some people don't get diagnosed. Some people get diagnosed with the disease and they can't even find another family, much less a patient advocacy group. You have been diagnosed. You have found a patient advocacy group. There are companies working on your disease, and we are trying to keep our momentum towards clinical trials and getting marketed therapies for our kids. And in the meantime, we're finding repurposed drugs to help our kids. I know this disease is terrible, and I know we're all overwhelmed. But if we all took one more step forward together with SRF and worked harder to raise more money, bring more awareness, welcome more families, we will get there faster. We're going to get there, come hell or high water. But if it's just the usual suspects pushing this boulder uphill, it's not going to go as fast as if you sit up and say, I need to step into SRF. I need to raise more money. I need to volunteer more. Because that is when we push it forward. 8 people have completed the ORTAS study, guys. I need that to be 80. Because we have tremendous momentum right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of confusion and headwinds out there. The NIH doesn't know what the heck's going on. There's a lot of crazy happening. And what we need to do is not be distracted by the crazy and say, oh, what's going to happen? What we need to do is get one more step closer together, close ranks, and march forward. Because that is how we're going to ensure that no matter what's going on in the outside world, SYNGAP1 related disorders have therapies. That's the mission. And we must push forward, and we must do so together. PubMed. PubMed is where you go to see how many publications are out about SYNGAP1. Year to date, we are at 24. This is the first time in a while when we have had less publications this year than the week we are in. If you remember at the top, I said we're in week 25. There are 24 publications out. Things are slowing down. Things are not slowing down because of SYNGAP. Things are slowing down because scientists and academics are dealing with a whole lot of crazy with the NIH changes. And that is having ripple effects through the whole system. But 24 publications in 25 weeks is still not shabby, and I want to flag 2 of them. Alicia Harrison wrote a paper that I actually talked to. Alicia, I was singing your praises to the entire company at Ambry, and I put your figures up. This is, I share a press release from CHOP on this. This is about early exons and the inherited mutations. So not to get too geeky, but if you're a patient with mutations in the first 4 exons, very early, like C33 dels, if your C address is like bigger than 400, this isn't you. But if you're in those first 4 exons, you have a milder phenotype. Your kid is less affected. And indeed, if it's really early on, like in the first 100 or so, some of those people are pretty functional and have kids. And so what we're starting to see is people getting diagnosed with SYNGAP1, but inheriting it, which is actually breaking one of the rules of de novo genetic diseases, right? So Alicia Harrison, basically beautiful, and we've been flagging this and talking about it for years. And to my knowledge, this is the first publication that double clicks on the issue. There's a number of publications that have said, hey, these kids in the early exons, they're a little different. But finally, we have a paper that goes deep on this. So huge congratulations to CHOP and Alicia Harrison for doing this. The other paper that just came out is Katie Cunan. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Katie. Did a disease concept model on SYNGAP1. This is super exciting. So what's a disease concept model? I'm not going to explain it in details right now, but it's very helpful. And I want you all to read it. We need to get a copy because it's behind a paywall. But what I can tell you, first of all, I'm going to put, what I can tell you is that Ingo Helbig, who is the leader at CHOP, the clinical lead at CHOP, and working closely with him is Jillian McKee, who is the SYNGAP lead. So anyway, Ingo's the lead head of child neurology at CHOP, and Jillian works with Ingo and it leads all things SYNGAP, right? But what Ingo has done is he's written a blog about Katie Cunan's disease concept paper, which is really, this blog you should read, please. Why should you read it? Because he explains what a DCM is better than I could, and he reflects on a number of the things that Katie pulled out in there. And if you're like, who's this Katie kid? Well, Katie was is a medical student. I think she's done with medical school. Congratulations now. But I think 2 years ago, she spoke at our conference. I put the link to the YouTube in the show notes, and you can hear Katie walk through the early data, and then you can compare that with the paper that she's written. But this disease concept model is really exciting. There's another team working on a disease concept model that I'm supporting, and these things just take forever. These just take forever. The papers look so simple, but they're not. And the amount of work that goes into them is truly significant. So anyway, there's another DCM coming, and I'm sure it will align with this one because I've seen like many versions of it. But really exciting to have this in press. Thank you, Dr. Grinspan, for being the senior author on this, and for Katie for all your hard work. I hope you're happy wherever you're doing your residency. And check that out. Very exciting. So 24 papers year to date. I'm not happy that that's less than the week we're in because I want us to have more than 50 at the end of the year to be better than last year, but given the circumstances, it is what it is. All right, guys, home stretch. As I've said multiple times in this podcast, we need to raise money. In addition to raising money, we need your blood and your time. Blood, sweat, and tears, guys. I want it all. So we do have a biobank. The biobank collects at different conferences around the U.S. throughout the year. Please check out the link in the show notes. See if there's a conference near you. If there is, go bring your SYNGAP1. Give us their blood. Give us your blood as a control. We also want urine and other stuff, but basically it's about blood. Check that out. Volunteering. If you're not volunteering with SRF, there's so much work to do. You can be a scientist. You can be not a scientist. You can be a numbers person. You can be a finance person. You can be a writing person. You can be a tech person. We have so much work to do to keep this train running. Just a project manager. Just figuring out who hasn't done the ORTAS study yet and calling them and be like, guy, what can we do to give you half an hour? Please do this ORTAS study. And then social media, as always, this is how we get found and this is how we find people. So please support us on social. SRF has 4,185 followers on LinkedIn. I love that. I'd like that to be 5,000. If you're a business person, if you're on LinkedIn, you have friends and family, just tell them all to follow SRF. Tell them to keep track of what we're doing. 1,380 people on YouTube. That's a big deal. 11,000 on Twitter, whatever, Instagram. If you're newly diagnosed, make sure you come to those webinars that Virginie is doing, but also please join us. That we have a huge resource page on our website, syngap.fund/resources. This is a podcast. Please make sure you give it a 5-star review. Helps others find us. I appreciate your time and attention. Hopefully I'll be talking to you again soon. Hey, only 28 minutes. This is a lot better than the last one. Thanks for your time, guys. Hang in there. Keep going. We are making tremendous progress, and disease-modifying therapies are coming soon.